Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss fundamental data structures like stacks, queues, graphs, trees, sets and dictionaries, and most of the algorithms we are discussing in this subject are using following data structures. Then let us see what we mean by data structure. A data structure can be defined as a particular scheme of organizing related data items into a main memory. Linear data structure are arrays and linked lists. Array, one-dimensional array is a sequence of n items of the same data type that are stored continuously in a computer memory and made accessible by specifying a value of the array's index as shown in the below diagram. That is, traditionally, the very first element of the array stored at the index value 0 and the last element stored at the size n minus 1. This is the traditional arrangement or the representation of all the array elements, and you can access any individual element by using the index value of that array. For example, if you want to access the very first element, use the index value as the 0. Similarly, you want to access any element at suppose at the fourth position, then you have to use index value as the 3. Similarly, you want to access element very last element from the array, use the index value as n minus 1, where n is the array size. This is how to access, how to store and how to access array elements. Next fundamental data structure is called as a linked list. A linked list is a sequence of 0 or more elements called nodes, each containing two kinds of information, some data and one or more links called pointers to other nodes of the linked list. Two types of linked lists are called singly linked lists and doubly linked lists. Their working principles are shown in below diagram. Then the singly linked list has the collection of n nodes where each node having the data information called as item 0, and it has the second part is called as the pointer that holds address to connect to the next node. This is an representation for a singly linked list. Similarly, doubly linked list having two pointers, that is the one to store the actual value and another one to store the address of the next node in the list, and also that every node having two pointers, one to connect to the next node, also the one more to connect from the previous node. This is an representation of doubly linked list with n elements. The next fundamental data structure is called as a stack. A stack is a list in which insertions and deletions can be done only at one end. This end is called the top because a stack is usually visualized not horizontally but vertically. It operates in the last in first out fashion. Next fundamental data structure is called as a queue. Queue is a list from which elements are deleted from one end of the structure called the front end or DQ, and new elements are added to the other end called the rear end or the NQ. It operates usually in the first in first out fashion. Next fundamental data structure is called as a graph. A graph G equal to V comma E is defined by a pair of two sets where a finite set V of items called vertices and a set E of pairs of these items called edges. The following diagram represent a simple graph where one with an undirected graph and one with a directed graph. Then here in this figure A, this is an undirected graph with the 6 vertices and the number of edges. Vertices are A, C, B, F, E and D, and similarly there is the edge from A to C, that is a connecting edge from A to C, similarly from C to B and so on. Then there is another diagram that will called as the diagram. This is called as a directed graph. This one is called as the undirected graph, and the second graph will represent called as the directed graph, where you can move from only one direction to another direction. that we can simply say that there is a edge from A to C, but there is no edge from C to A. That's why it is called as the directed graph. Again, it is a set of vertices and the edges, and all the edges can moving only towards one direction. Next one is called as the how to represent a graph with respect to an computer algorithms. Then to represent a graph for computer algorithms can be represented in two different ways, two different principal ways. One is called as using the adjacency matrix and another one is called as the adjacency list. So let us say that we can represent the previous graph A, we can convert it into an adjacency matrix and provide it as the input for the computer algorithms. Then we can convert it by using the adjacency matrix as, first you have to write down all the vertices as A, B, C, D, E, F, and similarly from A, B, C, D, E, F. And if there is a edge from A to A, put the value as the 1, and if there is no edge from A to A, put the value as a 0. Similarly here we can say that there is no edge, there is no self-looping edge from A to A. That's why you have to put here value as A to A as a 0. Similarly, check is there any edge from A to B. There is no direct edge from A to B. That's why again you have to put value here as the 0. Next, check is there any edge from A to C. Then here there is a direct edge from A to C. That's why put value here as the 1. Then we can simply design this adjacency matrix if and put the value 1 if there is any direct edge between two vertices, and if there is no direct edge between any two vertices, put the value as a 0. This is a technique called as how to convert any given graph or how to represent any given graph into adjacency matrix. And this adjacency matrix we are using as an input for almost every solving almost every algorithms that takes graph as an input. Then the another technique we are using is called as the adjacency list. We are using called as the adjacency list. Then it is a another simple technique. You have to list out all the vertices in the given graph, present all the vertices in the given graph, and if there is a direct edge between any two vertices, just go on listing those vertices. Then this representation says that from your previous example, from the vertex A there is a direct edge as a C, and there is a direct edge to the D. The same we can represent here. There is a direct edge from A to C and there is direct edge from A to D. Similarly, from there is a edge from B to C and again from C to F. This representation will represent all the possible edges or all the possible edges between vertices. Those are directly connected to one another. Then the next example we can discuss is called as the weighted graph. A weighted graph is a graph with numbers assigned to its edges. These numbers are called weights or a cost. Now let us see one graph with the vertices A, B, C and D and with some relevant edges, and each edge is assigned some weights or a cost. For example, you can say the cost of the edge A to B is 5. Cost of the edge C to B is 7. Similarly, cost of the edge A to C is 1, like this. Then again you have to convert this graph into adjacency matrix, or it is called as the weight matrix because there is a distance between each vertices is given. Then you can say that there is no self loop A to A, that's why you can write the distance or the cost matrix as the infinity. There is a edge from A to B with cost 5, you can write it as the 5. There is a edge from A to C with cost 1, you can write it as the 1. There is no direct edge from A to D, write it as the infinity. Likewise, you can convert any given weighted graph into its weight matrix. Similarly, for the adjacency list, you can convert it into an adjacency list. There is a path from A to B and with distance as a 5, and from A to C and from A to C with the cost as the 1. Similarly, from B to A with cost 5, then B to C with cost 7 and B to D with cost 4. Similarly, from C to A with cost 1, C to B with cost 7 and C to D with cost 2. Similarly, from D to B with cost 4 and D to C with cost 2. This is how to convert your weighted connected graph into a weight matrix or adjacency list. And this weight matrix or adjacency list you have to provide as the input for your algorithms. The next important fundamental data structure is called as a trees. A tree is a connected acyclic graph. A tree is a connected acyclic graph. A graph that has no cycles but is not necessarily connected is called a forest. There are two types of trees where a tree is a connected acyclic graph, and also tree is nothing but there are vertices, there are a set of vertices and the edges where all the vertices are connected by some edges. Then first example will represent it is a tree, and second example will represent it is a forest, where a graph that has no cycles but is not necessarily connected is called a forest. There are two separate trees. This is a tree 1 and this is a tree 2, but these two trees are not connected to one another. That's why it is called as a forest. Next one is called as pre-tree and rooted trees. Then pre-trees are nothing but you can arrange all the vertices and edges randomly as shown in this diagram. But the rooted trees are nothing but in systematically you have to represent these all the vertices and edges by considering one of the vertices as the root element. Then remember that the root element itself is the parent element, and root element never having any parent element. Then I have to choose the vertices A as the root element. Then this vertices A, this is now called as the parent element, or this is a root element with no parent element. This is called as the root element, and for this root element now you have to identify all the child elements. Then for the root element A, child elements are B, D and E. Then to the next level, at the level 0 you can identify the root element. To the level 1 you have to identify all the child elements of the root element. Similarly to the next level you have to identify the child elements for the level 1, as the child elements for root B is for node B is C and G. Similarly child element for the node E is F. There is no child elements for node D. Similarly, how to identify to the next level, you have to identify child elements for all the intermediate nodes. This is called as a rooted tree. Then the next important fundamental data structures are called as sets and dictionaries. The notion of set plays a central role in mathematics. Usually you know that a set can be described as an unordered collection of distinct items called elements of the set. And the dictionary is a data structure that implements three operations, that is searching for a given item, adding a new item and deleting an item on a given set or multi-set is called as a dictionary.